This time, I'd like to discuss what aspects of the story about the Assad family fleeing from Syria to Russia have drawn attention in China. Recently, someone asked in the comments whether this issue is being reported in China. The collapse of the Assad regime, in essence, represents the fall of a dictatorship. Reporting such a story in China could be problematic for the Chinese Communist Party, as it is also a dictatorship. The viewer who asked this question was likely curious to know if news about the collapse of a dictatorship would be covered in a country ruled by one. To get straight to the point, this story has indeed been widely reported in China. China is a country with many citizens who have relatives or connections abroad. Historically, Chinese people have gone overseas for work, establishing ties in countries such as the United States, Japan, Southeast Asia, and Europe. As a result, personal networks for obtaining information from abroad are abundant. It is now nearly impossible for the Chinese government to completely suppress news about major international events. As a side note, the human rights abuses committed by the Chinese Communist Party since its rise to power have resulted in an extraordinary number of deaths. While verifying these claims through foreign investigations might seem futile, presenting evidence to show that no other regime has caused as many deaths as the Chinese Communist Party could gradually spread this information within China. Returning to the main topic, the news of the Assad family seeking refuge in Russia has been widely covered in China. To understand the significance of this event for China, it's worth briefly reviewing the relationships among the Assad regime, Russia, Iran, and Israel. The Assad regime in Syria has long been strongly supported by Russia and Iran, something that is already well known in many countries, including Japan. The Assad regime is far from stable. Syria has essentially been in a state of civil war. However, thanks to strong backing from Russia and Iran, the Assad regime has managed to endure. From Iran's perspective, Syria is geographically critical because of its proximity to Israel, with which Iran has hostile relations. Securing influence over Syria allows Iran to strengthen its position against Israel and maintain a route to the Mediterranean. From Russia's point of view, Syria is strategically important for maintaining its influence in the Middle East and Europe. Russia relies heavily on oil and gas exports. If Middle Eastern countries gain dominance in supplying energy to Europe through Syria, Russia's leverage diminishes. This makes maintaining influence over Syria crucial for Russia. However, Russia's war in Ukraine has drained its resources, reducing its ability to support Assad. At the same time, Iran's proxy group Hezbollah has suffered heavy losses from Israeli attacks, weakening Iran's backing for Assad. With its primary supporters unable to provide adequate assistance, the Assad regime has been forced to crumble. Consequently, the Assad family fled to Russia with President Putin's consent. What has particularly caught the attention of Chinese audiences is the claim that the Assad family transferred a massive sum of money to Russia before fleeing. Reports suggest the amount is over $135 billion, equivalent to 20 trillion yen. This staggering figure has raised questions about how such a transfer was possible given the sanctions imposed on Russia. Some speculate that the funds were concealed in accounts under other names or transferred in the form of assets such as gold. For Russia, these funds could serve as a vital resource for its ongoing war efforts. There is speculation that some of the funds might even be directed toward North Korea, which is assisting Russia militarily. If the reported $135 billion transfer is accurate, it raises questions about the effectiveness of U.S. sanctions. Some reports claim that Turkish media was the first to break this story, leading to speculation that Turkish financial institutions may have facilitated the transfer. This further complicates the geopolitical implications of the story. In conclusion, the Assad family, along with other former Syrian officials, seems to have fled with significant wealth, whether in cash, gold, or other assets. For Russia, these resources could provide a much-needed financial boost for its war efforts. If you have any thoughts or theories about whether this $135 billion transfer actually occurred, please share them in the comments. That's all for today. See you in the next video.